Hi guys, I'm Richard, and in this video I'd like to talk to you about is city overcrowding and vertical cities. Now, on this planet alone there are over 7 billion people living on this planet, and more of us understandably are living in cities. The trouble is, cities are now getting a bit too big. I mean, they're starting to get, crammed with loads of people. Places such as Shanghai, Tokyo, Hong Kong, New York, Chicago and New Delhi. I mean, these are huge metropolises and they're just overcrowded. So how do you solve this problem? I suggest vertical cities. Now, vertical cities isn't actually a new idea at all. I remember them from an old computer game called SimCity 2000, and they're known as Arcology. Now, I'll spell that out for you, Arcology, which is A-R-C-O-L-O-G-Y. Now, another example of these buildings is also in the Warhammer 40k universe. They're known as hive cities. Basically, what they are is exactly a whole city built in one huge building. Granted, the building will have to be built over 1 kilometre tall, but then again, the Burj Khalifa is already 800 metres tall, so it'd be taller than that, and it would be taller than any of the Trump's towers. And these vertical cities have so many people, they can house up to 150,000 to, 700,000 people. Now, urban living inside the urban high-rise buildings isn't actually that new as well. In Chicago, back in the year 1880s, skyscrapers were first built for the very first time in Chicago, and since then it's exploded literally around the world, the whole idea. And most countries in the world have caught on to the idea of vertical living, except for the UK. UK is the only one. During the 50s, 60s and 1970s, it failed because the high-rise flats in the UK were essentially built on the cheap or using concrete. But for everyone else in the world, it really taken off, and Britain now has just realised that in the year 2000 onwards, there are buildings all over the world getting taller and taller. But most skyscrapers, as you know, are all office blocks or just houses. But one building in mind has more than one job, and that is the Shard in London. If you've been to that building, it's amazing architecture. It's got multiple jobs. It has housing, it's got a Shangri-La hotel, office block, and it's also a big landmark in London. But vertical skyscrapers are getting taller and taller, and these vertical cities are the pinnacle peak of this grand idea. Now, vertical cities, true, the building would have to be over 1 kilometre tall, but the advantage is you can cram more people in. You can have office blocks in there as well. You can have hospitals, schools, firehouses in there. Everything that makes a city, you can whack it into one building in this vertical city. You can build this vertical city inside another city, a city within a city. And these buildings can also have parks. How do you do this? Hydroponics. Hydroponics is also a good way to have a park inside a vertical city. You can make these vertical cities any design you want. You can build them like a pyramid or a giant shard, a mega shard. And they would be ideal for Tokyo, they'd be ideal for Hong Kong. And I think we should build these buildings because these buildings are grand. They can almost, in a way, help supply themselves for using recycled water over and over again in these buildings. And they can also have solar panels attached to the buildings so they can have more sunlight going into these buildings. And these buildings can also be catered to the landscape of the cities. So they can be earthquake proof, hurricane proof, tsunami proof, heck, Wreck-It Ralph proof if needs be. So I think vertical cities is the ultimate idea, and we should build them. We should build them in this world. Heck, build one in Chicago, build one in Shanghai, build one in Chongqing. Vertical cities are the answer. You can even get around to these buildings very, very quickly as well using super fast elevators or lifts. So they can go really fast. You can color code these lifts as well. So I have various sectors, coloured sectors. To get across horizontally, you can use the conveyor belt system which you have in airports. So you stand on the conveyor belt and it will just take you from A to B horizontally. But vertically, I've said, using a super fast lift. So I believe vertical cities is the answer to solving our city overcrowding problem, because cities are getting really, really overcrowded. And they can't grow outwards. They seriously can't. So the obvious answer has to be upwards. So I would say yes to vertical cities. Yes, it is the ultimate dream. And if you guys like to know more about them, please Google city within a city, Arcology, which I already spelled it out to you, and I will type it on the bottom on the screen. And also I would recommend looking at hive cities as well. Please let me know what you think of this video. If you got any ideas or want to query anything about it, please let me know. And please do subscribe to my channel, and I hope you all have a wonderful time. And here's the ultimate question. Did you notice little Stewie? Did you notice? I hope you did. I hope Stewie's not bored as well, because he's watching you. He's watching you. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and take care. Bye bye.